Recently, the Russian government has made accusations towards Sweden, claiming that they have something to hide in relation to the explosions that damaged the Nord Stream gas pipelines. What is going on in Sweden, and why are the Russians angry? What would be the result of this conflict between the two nations? Is it the beginning of a new war? Grab onto your helmets as we go through the details in this video. What are the Nord Stream pipelines? Nord Stream consists of two pipelines, which have two lines each. Nord Stream is one of 1,124 kilometers underwater. It's a gas pipeline running from Vyborg in northwest Russia to Lubmin in northeastern Germany via the Baltic Sea. It was completed in 2011. Nord Stream 2, which runs from Ust-Luga in Leningrad to Lubmin, has the capacity to handle 55 billion cubic meters of gas per year once it becomes operational again. The Nord Stream crosses the exclusive economic zones of several countries, including Russia, Finland, Sweden, Denmark, and Germany, and the territorial waters of Russia, Denmark, and Germany. In Germany, the pipeline connects to the Opal Baltic Sea pipeline and the Nel North European pipeline, which further connects to the European grid. The Russian authorities have expressed their dissatisfaction with the level of cooperation that they have received from Stockholm in the ongoing investigations into the bombing incident. The Nord Stream pipelines, which transport natural gas from Russia to Europe, were damaged in a series of explosions last year. The incident caused significant disruptions to the flow of gas and resulted in significant financial losses for both Russia and the European countries that rely on that gas. The Russian government has accused Sweden of failing to fully cooperate with the ongoing investigation into the bombings. They have criticized Stockholm for not providing all the necessary information and for not being transparent about the progress of the probe. The Russians have also alleged that Sweden may have something to hide in relation to the incident. The incident has further strained the already tense relationship between Russia and Sweden. The two countries have had a history of diplomatic disputes, and this latest incident has only added fuel to the fire. Many experts believe that the accusations made by the Russian government are politically motivated and are an attempt to shift the blame away from Russia into Sweden. In detail, Sweden and Denmark are currently investigating 4 leaks in the Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines, which have been a major source of contention in the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. These pipelines connect Russia and Germany across the Baltic Sea, and their existence has been a point of disagreement between various parties. The investigation into these leaks has been met with some confusion, as Sweden has refused to cooperate with Russian investigators. This decision has been met with criticism from Russia, with the Foreign Ministry spokesperson, Maria Zakharova, stating that Moscow has the right to know how the investigation into the pipeline blast from September of last year is progressing. The Swedish government has denied any wrongdoing and stated that they have been fully cooperating with the investigation. They have also pointed out that the bombings were a criminal act and that the investigation is being led by the police and not the government. It is important to note that the Nord Stream pipelines have been a source of tension and not only between Russia and Ukraine, but also between various European nations. Some have raised concerns about the potential impact of the pipelines on the EU energy security and dependence on Russian gas, while others argue that the pipelines are necessary for Europe's energy needs. The ongoing investigation into the leaks into the Nord Stream pipelines will likely have significant implications not only for the countries involved, but also for the larger political and economic landscape of the region. As such, it is important that all parties involved work together to ensure a thorough and transparent investigation is conducted. Swedish and European investigators have conducted a thorough investigation into the recent explosions that occurred near the Nord Stream pipelines. The findings of the investigation have concluded that the assaults were premeditated. However, the investigators have not yet revealed their suspicions as to who may be responsible for the attacks. Furthermore, the Swedish authorities have reported that explosive residue was discovered in the vicinity of the Nord Stream pipelines. This discovery, according to a statement made by the Swedish prosecutor, serves as evidence that there was an extensive sabotage involved in the explosions. The initial findings from the investigation indicate that the massive explosions were a cause of the leaks that occurred earlier this month. The Swedish prosecution authority has also stated that the recent examinations of the sea in the area have revealed signs of explosives. It is important to note that the depth and complexity of this inquiry and the ongoing investigation will be crucial in determining if any culprits can be identified. The District Attorney's Office has declined to provide further elaboration on the matter at this time. The recent explosions that occurred on the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline, which runs from Russia to Germany, have raised concerns about potential damage to the environment and public safety. A Danish-Swedish seismologist, who had previously reported feeling earthquakes around the leaks, stated that the signals did not have any obvious resemblance to the earthquakes. The weeks after the ruptures, on September 26th, gas from the seafloor pipes escaped in bubbles to the surface. Swedish newspaper Express stated that a portion of Nord Stream 2 spanning at least 50 meters is missing, after shooting what were reportedly diverse photographs of the destruction that is yet to be made public. Meanwhile, Moscow has accused Western countries of sabotage and explosions, but has offered no proof. The Nord Stream 2 pipeline was finished on September 2021. However, the certification has halted in Berlin days before Moscow's February invasion of Ukraine, so it was never put into service. Furthermore, the Russian government claims that the European Union is not conducting a fair inquiry into the explosions. The Minister of Foreign Affairs of Russia stated that it seemed that no European nations were seriously investigating the Nord Stream gas pipeline explosion. He said that no one in the European Union was conducting an impartial investigation following the explosions on the Nord Stream. According to him, this is why Russia holds the gas shipments over the northern routes. The Russian military ministry also claims that the pipes were destroyed by British naval forces, but London has stated that this accusation is untrue and is meant to divert attention away from Russian military failures and Ukraine. The ongoing investigation and accusations from all parties involved have created a tense situation with the possibility of further escalation if the cause of the explosions is not quickly and accurately determined. It could also be noted that the Washington Post had said that the diplomatic intelligence officials claim that there was no clear proof that Russia was behind the strikes either, and it is reported that some sources now fear it may be too late to determine who is to be held responsible for this attack. What's more is that Canada has announced that it would post sanctions on the components of the Nord Stream pipelines. The country had just declared that it would withdraw the sanctions waiver that permits turbines from Russia's largest gas pipeline to Europe, Nord Stream 1. That is to be fixed in Montreal and then sent back to Germany. This particular pipeline ran under the Baltic Sea and was turned off on August 31st, so that the repairs could be made, but it never came back up, and was severely leaking just before the explosions. Minister for Foreign Affairs Melanie Joly stated that Putin had to prove that he never intended to get Nord Stream 1 back up and running at full capacity. According to her, Putin is particularly interested in destroying the pipeline instead. It was finally decided that the consultation regarding the pipes would be conducted with European parties, including Ukraine, Germany, and others. It was also seen that the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and Prime Minister Justin Trudeau were talking about Europe's energy security, especially regarding vital supply lines. The pipeline's operator of Nord Stream said this month that the plant outage of the outlet in Germany would end by April 1, 2023. Meanwhile, Russia has yet to decide whether or not to restore the Nord Stream gas pipelines. Russian spokesman Dmitry Peskov said that no decision has been taken at this time. Peskov further went on to say that no information on the findings of the probe at this time, and he claims that they are uncertain as to how much nations whose economic zones the sabotage occurred will insist on learning the facts. His remarks came after Canada said it would remove the sanctions waiver that had permitted turbines for the Nord Stream 1 project. Now it appears that the investigation into the Nord Stream pipeline explosions will continue with Sweden and Denmark leading the inquiry. As said earlier in the video, Russia has proposed a joint investigation, but this has been rejected by both countries. The rejection of Russia's proposal for a joint investigation, along with Zakharova's statements, has further strained relations between the countries and has raised questions about the true cause of the blast. It remains to be seen how the investigation will proceed and who will ultimately be held responsible for the damage to the gas pipelines. What do you think will happen? Will this lead to another world war? How do you think the pipeline actually exploded? Maybe it was a part of Putin's plan. Or was it another international cover-up of an attack against Russia? Let us know in the comments section your thoughts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash the bell icon to stay updated on all news all around the world.